most of the human race killed off because it is unworthy. It is unworthy of the gift of life.
I don't care what society thinks. They're nothing anyway. They're no better than me.
Until we hear the safe word, we will not stop.
Have you ever thought what it would be like to see a person's head amputated? Think of things so horrible that the human mind cannot imagine them. See all this and more when you see on stage, in person, that crazy mix-up.
I like being set apart from people. I like to be hated.
Safe Word with Jason Rouse.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Roustabout. My guest on the show, Melissa Diaz, on a hot, let's get out of traffic. There goes a crane, and I guess, I'm glad you brought it up because you clearly see just by the first few seconds of this conversation, I also have a bag of squirrels inside of my head.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's there's probably some sort of paperwork somewhere as far as what my diagnosis, but clearly ADD is a prominent thing in there. But I find that, especially in my later years, marijuana is what I call putting the blanket over the birdcage to kind of calm down the
You got a birdcage full of squirrels?
I got a birdcage full of squirrels.
Mixing your metaphors.
Now, did you mention something about ADD?
Yes.
Is that an issue?
I have before. This is a self-diagnosis, right? So, whatever, you can think it's bullshit, but it's like I looked it up and it's like consistent.
Yeah.
It is most definitely what I have on some level. Even to the point where some of the remedies, like taking a lot of matcha tea for the theanine and stuff like that, it helps me focus. I mean, I most definitely have it. I just gotta go get diagnosed, I guess.
But at least you're self-aware enough to go on, like, look, I don't know what year you were born, but you were just put into a crazy kid class, or you were jacked up on Ritalin. There was no diagnosis like, hey, maybe your kid's got too much sugar in his diet.
Well, the interesting thing about the difference between boys and girls getting diagnosed is that girls actually get less diagnosed because they're looking for the hyperactivity, and that's usually in boys. Girls are like, they cry a lot, they're distracted, they're kind of more ADD and less ADHD. So people kind of tend to
emotionally like waves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that everybody knows. Ladies have my experience.
I guess you can say that's all women that have ADD.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I've been brought to tears by some of the women I've loved in my life just through manic behavior, and like, I can't console you, I can't help you, but I feel your pain. And there's nothing I can do here except allow you to kind of run out of steam and keep from killing yourself.
Wait a minute, I think you might be talking about some kind of bipolar disorder.
Ah, fuck. You think?
Don't confuse your periods with your bipolar disorder.
Fuck.
They're different.
Okay, well, enlighten me. You clearly checked yourself for bipolar disorder, if you know.
Well, no, my mom has bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
And a borderline sort of ish diagnosis, but I don't know. I have a theory. I think people with ADHD tend to attract people with bipolar disorder. I think.
Son of a
Somehow
bitch.
it fits. Right?
You just fit it.
Have you dated a lot of girls with like big highs and lows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think. I think people who are bipolar are attracted to people who either have ADHD or maybe like autism. Just anybody who's going to be kind of like a good base.
I believe
around which they can talk a lot.
You just go backwards through half a dozen long relationships I've been in, and I'm like,
are you taking a separate walk in your head right now?
I think I always said maybe you should look. Maybe you might be bipolar. These highs and lows.
You've said that.
Yeah, and now if my ADD diagnosis is true, and I'm seeking out bipolar disorder, then there's a pattern of mental illness between two codependent psychos
Yeah.
trying not to die alone.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's just maybe the symptoms, when they're combined, they lock together in a way that makes both parties more functional. Or
But
at least
the-
feel that way.
But the highs and lows, I don't know, for somebody that's ADD, I think in both parties, inevitably, is it their goal just to kind of destroy each other?
No.
Is that the out? Like, is there any harmony in that? Can they sync up? Because I think if you can get those personalities to sync and work in unison, that they're a force of nature.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think you just got to find the dysfunction that, helps you both blast off towards something better. That's hard to do.
Because if you think that you're the person meeting the broken person, it's a 50-50 split as an agreement. And some people's cases are a little more dramatic than the others.
What do you mean?
Like some people just kind of will be combative and argumentative to a degree that there's a constant conflict, where another person will just go be depressed for a day and then kill themselves.
Yeah, like be a polite person, you mean?
A polite person would do that?
Who just goes into a corner and doesn't bother anybody and jumps off a bridge? Yeah,
Oh, you don't like the people that make the big splash and
No.
quit and
Everybody's cool. Like, my mom is a person who makes a big splash, but, like she maintains, she does the best she can.
yeah.
And she's managed over the years to figure out a way to cope with it. She has her little coping mechanisms. And honestly, should I keep talking? That was
I had to
visual wall.
loop it, but yeah, I just wanted you guys to see that dog shit on the shoulder there.
Lovely.
Um,
Smells good. But
yeah.
I think, I don't know, I think if you know what you got, or if you have an idea, all of a sudden everything, you see it, and it doesn't pose as much of an obstacle, because you understand it all of a sudden. You're like,
It can
you know
be
the
a
parts
good
that aren't
tool.
about you.
You can use it as a tool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't like doing a monotonous, repetitive work, but then there's some people that can get hyper focused on it and crush that with one breath.
Well, that's the thing about ADHD, is that those are your options, right? It's like complete distraction, right? Which this walk would probably be a good example of. Every time a bird flies by, start talking
Yeah,
about
I
that.
talked to 3 birds since we came out of the cage. It's-
Oh, hello, sir.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Yeah, I'll be in
Or-
Paris tonight.
All right.
That might be
Or
the
you're just super
gayest
gay.
thing I
Yeah,
see.
ADHD is like you're super gay or you're talking to birds. So
I was on the fence until he said Paris.
Yeah.
You,
He really let
he's
that
committed.
stretch.
Yeah.
I feel he wanted us to hear it.
There was a hard S on that
Yeah.
Paris. That guy is going to have the time of his life. The way he's riding that bike,
better.
talking about going to Paris.
He's riding that bike, getting ready to get his butt railed, I guess.
Can you hear a Canadian accent on me?
At times.
At times.
Yeah.
Is it as bad as Jared's? Jared has a stutter and looks like
Yeah, I
he's been
can't
in a
tell it.
motorcycle accident.
Jared is the best. I can't tell if he has an accent. I think he has. What does he have? His accent is Tourette's.
Yeah.
I don't know. Stutter. Yeah. That's the name of his
He
accent.
doesn't. That's the thing. He gets ID'd for things that he tried to tell me that he wasn't retarded. And I said, I know. I go, but people are. And
People are.
They are totally retarded. So don't take it personal. You're dealing with idiots.
Yeah, basically.
And they're flippant labeling. But that's what I'm...
You ever see him get treated like weird?
Oh, yeah. Look
Your
at that.
ADHD just kicked
There's
in right
the
now?
bird over there. Look at it.
Okay, guys, Exhibit A.
There's a bird.
Is
A
he
little exotic bird hunched on the log.
Is he on a log?
You see it? Right there.
Yeah. Look, he's on a dead body.
It looks weird.
Looks like that bird would be sitting on like a corpse.
That's what my ex looked like from the back.
Nice. Oh, I dated a guy with a ponytail like that, and I would always go and grab strangers' hands that were women for a long time, thinking it was him out of the corner of my eye. You know, we'd be walking, and then I'd see a ponytail in the peripheral, and then I'd go to that person as if it were my boyfriend, and it was a lady.
I've done a couple back pats.
Yeah.
It's terrifying, especially more for them than me, because I've always get the Jesus Christ, oh my God. And I'm like, you're wearing the same hoodie, I can't tell from the back.
Oh yeah, it's terrifying.
You got the
back pats from strangers, probably the worst thing a girl can go through.
And you can't go, you guys have exactly the same ass.
Yeah.
I couldn't see anything above the waist.
Yeah, I love it. That's why I have long hair. Every time it brushes up against my back, I freak out. It's great.
Just
It's the only
jumping.
way I can have a good day.
My hair was very popular in the 80s and 90s.
Well, you said it was long, right?
I had very long hair, but my friend Dave, he used to dye his hair, and he also rode a 10-speed, a road bike.
Oh, okay.
But in my city, any ass was up for grabs, and he looked like the singer for Poison.
Yeah.
But with girls like acid wash jeans on a 10-speed, he'd get his
I love
butt
that.
grabbed all the time.
Yeah. He'd get his ass grabbed?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was very upsetting to him. And Dave had no ass. Like, we're all wearing like 30 waist jeans
Oh my
in
God.
1987.
Yeah.
But you moved, you weren't raised in New York, were you?
I was raised in New York, yeah.
Oh, fuck. So you must be really laughing about what's unfolding here on the open mic level.
Yeah, I just keep it all at arm's length because it's...
Yeah. You know how the smoke clears. It's so polarizing that there's nowhere to hide. Like, there's no cheat codes or shortcuts.
Yeah.
You're on the block with the rest of us.
Yeah, that's fine. Cool with that. I've been through it before. I'll do
Yeah.
it again. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's, and you have that, you're in one of the most prestigious comedy universities in the world is New York City.
Yeah, man.
Like, it's so, there's no room for fucking around.
I'm glad I got to start there.
You went it hard.
Accelerates you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you know that you go, because you come here and you're like, I learned 10 years of comedy in
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah, I did. Maybe like 5.
Mm.
But, because I was drunk a lot. But,
That is a fun thing. There's no shortage of cocktails. And first of all, you're in these bars 20 hours a day,
Yeah.
either setting up a show or at an after show.
yeah, it'd be rude not to be a drunk.
That's what happened to me in London. I had quit drinking for a number of years and then moved to England. It was like the pub culture was great.
I was just gonna, if you hadn't brought it up, yes. That's
Did you get some pints into you?
got a couple pints, and the thing I love about it, and I didn't even know anybody there, it was just being around this good energy.
It's very
people
jovial, it's
there-
sing-songy.
Yeah, they know
They
how
gotta have a drink, mate.
they're just singing sea chanties and shit.
Yeah, it gets to that. And I'll tell you, I'm not even mocking it. I want to see some
I like
white people shit.
Yeah, drinking in New York is kind of lonely, so it can be
Because
kind of
rent's so high.
Yeah, you're drinking to escape for real.
Yeah.
But over in London, they're actually drinking because they want to see their friends. Like, they want to go out and have friends, and
Because their
like, a lot
home
of
lives are miserable.
them- Is that what it is?
I think so.
Give me the scoop on that other side of it. then.
Maybe, look, first of all, there's so much not emphasis on television. They've only got, like, look, the internet has opened it up for the entire world, but they have a few channels
Yeah.
of respected British broadcasting, the BBC,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, whatever,
They
some
dominate,
kid shows.
don't
Yeah. They have high level stuff themselves, but it's also, they don't beat it to death. The shows don't go on for years. There's a variety of stuff.
Yeah.
It's more cultured, and I don't know. Maybe I'm abused because the Queen's on Canadian money, and I'm pandering to the royal family.
Maybe. Well, in a sense, one thing I got a sense of about the BBC is that a lot of royals
Pedophiles were
and like royals are a part of it, like making shows and stuff, like Duchess people, dukes and duchesses
in the
and all that.
production or on camera.
They're kind of all over the place. Some of them are hosting, some of them are producing.
She
Like, they're
still
kind of
owns
involved.
everything. Everybody rents. And my friend told me, they go, nobody owns property here.
Exactly.
They go, it's all at the house.
That's what they want to make happen here. That's that's why like Amazon and Blackstone, they're just like snapping up properties all over the country.
Yeah, the only way to disrupt that is through, quote, natural disasters.
Are you praying for an earthquake?
I'm not praying for anything. I'm trying to just canoe through this shit
Yeah.
the best I can, kick some ass, take some names,
Yeah.
put my name up on a couple of marquees,
Yeah. Absolutely.
and leave with a humble legacy of terror and hilarity.
I love it.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I think you're succeeding.
whatever that is gonna be, just don't break everything up so I can't get on stage in front of a group of strangers.
Yeah, that's all that matters
Yeah.
to me. Yeah, for sure.
I could, my income, it'll give me, it gives you a chance to make a living as an artist. Now, especially in New York, if you're good, you'll get paid.
Yeah, you start getting money.
You
Yeah.
can actually, if you have a genuine raw talent, a lot of people will give you a lot of breaks. Opposed to somebody who's a long distance worker
Yeah.
and says, look, I'm going to spend a decade perfecting this, opposed to some guy who's got a hot 5 minutes and he becomes the flavor for 3 months and then he starts
lot.
bombing because he can't handle the pressure and he moves back to the other suburb separated from the game
Yeah.
and studies and
That's the best option for that guy. This is complicated, man. But I think this is one of doing stand-up and being in this world in some way is one of the better options for what you could do with your life at this point when things are so crazy. Because it's one of those fields where it's all about
This is
like
where
sticking to
innovation
your guns.
comes in.
Yeah, being completely creative but driven by your own genius. I say genius like in the 18th century.
that's
Meaning,
what I've been
you know?
using the boat metaphor here. I go, listen, I'm in a boat like the rest of you guys. The playing field's been leveled
Exactly.
completely. So you got to get your mojo. You
into
gotta go from the heart now, because people, the
Yeah.
successes. Look at how endeared and beloved, like guys like Tim Dillon,
Exactly.
who've like completely eclipsed any borders, any boundaries,
Yeah.
and with a heart behind it,
Yeah.
and an anomaly as an entertainer,
Yeah.
a force of nature.
His heart is a wrecking ball,
Yeah,
right?
he
it.
is
Punches through everything.
Miley Cyrus of comedy.
Yeah, I can imagine Tim Dillon in that outfit now.
Tim Dillon's the Miley
Wet
Cyrus.
tank top and diapers or
Yeah,
something. whatever
on
he's
that
wearing.
fucking pendulum.
Yeah.
That would be great. No, even his last special, there's a handful of people who've had successes in TV and film who had either had an early start in stand-up and then had successes on other platforms and then come back, like Steve-O and Tom Green and
Yeah, totally.
and then some kind of miscellaneous actors that kind of show up at the store or probably in New York.
I think that's more of an LA problem.
Oh, you telling me Michael Rappaport isn't a problem?
Well, yeah. And then there's also that guy from
You got your
Entourage.
fair share of
What's his
shitheads.
name?
And I'm not even defending LA.
Yeah,
LA
okay, I'll
is
give you that.
expected to have a fish tank of knuckleheads. What a
I can see.
disaster. What drama on the internet between the comics. My goodness.
Yeah,
They're
it's
all sex
ridiculous.
offenders.
I know. Everyone's a sex offender. But
They're
it's
so perverted and it's so closeted. It's like, go to a place where that kind of behavior is like welcomed and consensual. There's places in the world you can go to.
yeah, but then you wouldn't have the excitement of committing a crime.
That's what it
And
is,
that's
the
just what it
scumbag
is.
element of it. Opposed to
what it
putting
is.
somebody through an education
Yeah.
with a handshake and a thumbs up of honor,
Yeah, a little wink.
a quick blood test, and away you go.
Yeah. Well, the optimistic thing is to look at it like, hey, there's an industry for that, right? There's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Lots of people do it. So more people do that than choose the scumbag route. So it is working. It's just that there's just always going to be scumbags,
Yeah, totally. This is the thing.
right?
And people are always shocked in some cases. Bill Cosby's always been he's the Mount Rushmore of
yeah. Mount Rushmore is the perfect way to put that because it seems like monolithic.
He's just behind serial killer.
Yeah.
John Wayne Gacy, Bill Cosby, right?
Yeah, like the same eyes all across. You can imagine the same
Cold.
eyes. Yeah, cold. Like
You
a
got to
snake.
think about all those kids that had like Bill Cosby. I don't know if you ever saw the Fat Albert cartoons that
Yeah.
he co-created. They
grew
were
up watching those.
big part of my life.
Yeah, me too.
I was just mesmerized by it, and you know, hey, look, I was upset the first time I saw Bill Cosby in some sort of thing where he was smoking, and I was
Really?
like, he looked more like somebody you would see in a bar, up to no good. He looked predatorial. Once he put a cigarette in his hand, he looked like a sexual predator.
Yeah.
Is that like common thing? As you can tell if the guy's a pederast by smelling his breath?
I don't know. I think there's just like maybe. I think there's just maybe just outfits and aesthetics that suddenly reveal a person for what they really are. You know,
They're prone to it.
Yeah. Anybody at all. Suddenly makes sense. You put a suit on some people, it's like, oh, you're that, right? You put a G-string on other people, you're like, oh, you're that. You know.
A G-string is very defining moment in anybody's life. I don't like the
Did you
cheek
ever wear one?
exposure. No.
I dated a guy that liked wearing them.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Really into it.
It just feels.
He would pose. He would wear it.
Taint saw.
He would do a little catwalk.
Now, were they men's? Look, if he had a fetish of wearing women's undergarments, that's one thing. But if he preferred that cut of men's underwear,
that's what it was.
Is that what it was?
He loved it. And
There's
he knew
no
it was weird because he didn't do it a lot of the time.
My asshole's getting itchy talking about this conversation.
I think that's what he liked about it.
He likes an itchy asshole?
Yeah, like a little itchy asshole, right? I mean, it's either wear the G-string and have it rub up against your crack, or you gotta be like a dog and just rub your ass.
And I
drag
don't
it
know,
across a rug.
maybe I'm missing something here. Is it a rub situation? I guess it depends on how tall the stairs are. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Third floor walk up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's moderate.
That was another thing that put me off New York is like the lack of elevators and how terrifying the ones that were and small. Like there's no moving a bed in an elevator. No. You're not getting a mattress in there.
Nope.
It's a phone booth.
Yeah.
And the brass has never been cleaned.
Yeah.
And it's dragging in between floors.
Yeah.
And no matter where you are, there's a scent, there's this odor in every New York City elevator.
Well, that's because every New York City elevator is only good for about three things. One is carrying a stack of something narrow, like a vase or books. Mm-hmm. Two is smoking crack, and three is taking a piss. That's it.
I never thought of that.
I've done two out of those three things in an elevator.
You smoked crack?
No, pee.
Oh, everyone pees in the elevator. I used to pee in my mouth in the elevator.
Girl. Really?
Oh, girls pee everywhere. I worked in restaurants, and the women's restrooms were terrifying.
Oh yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up because that is underreported part of our culture.
Because you know why? Men are gentlemen and they never shame women like that.
Yeah, that's true.
No, listen to me. I'm not representing anybody. Even the whites have given me up. They're like, next.
No one's representing you?
No.
I'll represent you. You got a flag?
Yoshi and, you know Yoshi Abayashi?
Mm-hmm.
Yoshi and I were talking about, being ostracized from our own people, which was fine. We didn't really get into it to pander into the locals anyway. I wanted to go to other people's neighborhoods and say how I fly in a completely foreign environment, which Yoshi's met me in. He destroyed in Finland. I don't know what it was. It was.
What do you think?
They locked up. They loved them. I think because their English isn't as prominent as like Sweden and Norway and Denmark. They're great at it. I had no issues. The only problems I had were some of the more northern places. I was wasted. I fucked it.
Well, you got to stay warm somehow.
Oh, that was their excuse.
Americans don't know how to dress.
But they don't know that I have to really focus. I have to really have clear-headed. There's very few times, even when I was at my worst, I never went on stage drunk or sloppy to a degree. In 20 years over that time, maybe a few times.
Yeah.
If anything, it was hangovers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How did hangovers do for you on stage?
You know what?
It's kind of hit or miss.
I had to do some long days on a production, and I found that the more broken I was, that it, the acting part of it, being hungover and strung out, I found that when I was on set early in the AM, that I was getting more raw performance opposed to comedy shtick.
Yeah.
Out of fatigue and desperation, I hit my mark. A terrible idea, by the way. Do not show up for any job fucking corked.
Well, you know, it's kind of a sign of where you are personally, you know, where you have to be hungover just so you can resign yourself to being yourself. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I went through that for sure. And
a
it's
total
just,
breakdown.
Yeah. When did you feel like you started being
The problem?
yourself?
Being myself. The problem was
That's
is
after the
I
problem.
showed up as myself. I had to roll myself down and take some of the teeth off and file the claws down a little bit. I was like a feral rescue animal.
Me too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I was very much a menace to society. Sorry, how did
How'd you dress back then?
I've literally, if anybody, this is about as much color. I have two things other than my closet looks like a funeral director's. I look like a grieving Italian widow is how I dress.
I look a nonna.
Yeah, nonna. I've got that's why I'm so conscious of my posture, because I grew up in an Italian neighborhood in just outside of my hometown of Hamilton for a few years.
Are you Italian?
No, but I'm very familiar with the, you know, my grandparents' neighbors were like first generation Italian immigrants.
Wow.
You know, I think I might have told this before, but Mrs. Cedri was her name.
Okay.
And her and her husband had a fucking, you know, showroom ready garden. You know, not a weed in the dirt. Tomato plants, all these vegetables,
awesome.
giant peppers, all kinds of and at the back they had a pigeon coop. Went in, I was like, cool, they've got these birds and stuff. And then
That's like a dream.
a guy pulls up into the driveway and opens it. I'm like, oh, more birds. But they were chickens, and she broke all their necks in the backyard and hung
did you
them
see
up.
'em?
Yeah, I watched it all go down.
Did she do that trick where you spin them and break the neck? Or?
No, she just wrung it like a saw.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then tied their legs off. But you could hear the crunch. I watched her do 12 of them in the row. Now this lady, she was you know, she was in the dirt with her hands. Like, she was not a soft woman as far as doing hard work.
Mm-hmm.
She clearly had come from something worse.
Very, very nice.
And now landing in Canada, and they're like, yeah, we got tons of dirt here. You can do whatever you want. You know, come on in. There's no one here yet.
Look at all this dirt. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
What a wonderful country.
So much that they used to have a name for the white kids, non-Italians in the neighborhood. They would call them mungie cakes.
Mungie cakes?
Easy life, like cake eaters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah. Okay, yeah.
they would go mungie cake all the time. I didn't understand. I'm like, I love cake. Who's got
Jesus.
cake?
Yeah.
I love a good cake. But you're a bit of a baker. I have to say, though, I also smoke marijuana, and your stories are very distracting when you drop these fucking little, just delicious little thing.
Well, if you ever want one, just ask.
I know you were talking about pie, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
The HEB is pretty solid here as far as the bakery goes.
Hey.
But there's also a killer vegan bakery over on Chavez there.
Are you vegan?
No, I'm straight, actually.
I'm so glad to hear that.
No, I've never, I had a diet change. That was another thing that, you know, being in Europe, it's a lot of meat and potato dishes and beer. So I got fucking bloated. I look like
A lot of salt.
Martin Short in Pure Luck when he gets stung by the bee, and
Yeah.
Danny Glover's like, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Boom."
Wow, that's hot.
I was just all pined up, just red-faced.
Yeah.
I looked like Sir Winston Churchill for,
Well, that's why
for
they look
about
like that.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was a different kind of look, and especially when I'd gotten nude on a television show in Sweden and crawled through the audience naked.
Oh, I saw that one. You looked all right.
Yeah, no, I looked like an albino manatee had lost his tusk in a gambling.
No.
It was brutal. So, but it was all lifestyle. Everybody else was fat and gross too.
Yeah.
No one cared.
Yeah.
It was like, turn the lights off, we're disgusting.
That's an interesting thing about Europe is everybody's less insane in terms of that. In terms
Yeah.
of like not giving a fuck about.
Because
Media
they've been doing
looking
crazy
like-
shit for so long. Their industry standard of nutty,
Yeah.
they'll make he's eccentric or something.
Yeah.
The guy's
Tons.
eating soap on a bus.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy is wacky. That's it. That's comedy. I looked up I was just curious like who the funniest comedian in Estonia was.
Oh yeah, I've played a gig.
Their funniest comedian, their like national comedian, is literally described as man with funny hat. You can look it up on Wikipedia. That's the guy.
It's vaudeville over there
Yeah.
still. It's
They're like-
1920. It's the Roaring 20s.
I was like, I think this comedy scene would blow them away.
Done gigs in like East Slovenia and Croatia, and there was a lot of like kids show kind of boopity boo, you know, with a silly hat, like black comedy in the 80s.
Yeah.
There was a shtick and an alias.
Okay.
And they would tell me, this guy's the biggest children's performer in Europe.
Yeah, they're all impressed, and you're like,
Yeah, and I'm like, what?
this guy would be somebody's drunk uncle here.
Yeah,
They would
and
just
they,
be like,
oh,
"Shut
they
up,
cheered.
Uncle Bill."
He
Yeah.
goes up and mumbles through some mania.
Yeah.
No,
That's insane.
I think personality goes a long way. There was a lot of comics that had that kind of Mitch Hedberg element to them where the writing was so good and their delivery was so minimal.
Mm-hmm.
Milton Jones,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen him, but what we were trying to get to is how many days in England? Now, was it
Damn,
specifically
two
London?
people with ADD trying to talk.
Yeah.
That was 20 minutes ago. Yeah, hell yeah.
2 weeks in London?
Yeah, 2 weeks in London. It was crazy because, you know,
Tell me you had somewhere to stay, like friends.
nope.
You had to finance your accommodations?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. We were actually gonna cut the trip short because it was just getting a little too crazy. We didn't realize it was gonna be like that.
It's brutal.
Oh, here's what's worse. We decided to rent a car.
Why?
I don't know. Because, you know,
It's like
cars are a
owning
thing
a
here.
truck in New York.
Exactly.
Like a limousine.
Well, it's even
There's no
worse.
point. Yeah, no, it's
Because London's set up now so where they make it so that you can't go anywhere in there with a car.
no, you gotta pay.
Yeah, you gotta pay, but also like the roads are built in a way that literally it's almost like a trick. Like you drive into London, next thing you know, you're driving out of London. Like you don't even know how it happened.
Do you know why?
Why?
Somebody told me this, a local. They're all old horse trails, and they'd make them zigzag and loop and stuff so the horses wouldn't bolt. So that's why, you know, when you
That's
go
why
into
those
Soho,
circles-
they're really narrow, and you can see, just picture, just brick and dirt.
Yeah.
And you can go, oh yeah, this is where the ponies would go.
Oh my God.
And especially in the gay area, I think it's Canal Street. Someone covered up so it says Anal Street.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Very on
They have a great sense of humor about, especially gay English acts are super famous,
Yeah.
like mega famous.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, they're
America doesn't, it's like pasteurized queer, you know?
milk queer.
It's queer light.
Queer milk.
Like if you're gonna go gay, go British, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that a bumper sticker?
Yeah, I can see that. Because you can just be whatever you want. Just be as flamboyant as you want, say whatever
It's
dirty thing you want.
Yes.
People will cheer, they'll like it.
And you know British people and swear words.
Yeah, I
No
love
matter what they're throwing at you, there's a certain taste to it.
Yeah.
It can be very refreshing.
They got me into the word cunt. I never used to.
My mother watches this show.
Oh, sorry. I meant front. They got me into the word front. I never used to say front before because, you know.
I say it all the time. I actually would do a bit about You know, it's a greeting. You hear it so much, and once they find you from North America, they lean into it. They
Oh,
want
really?
to see you
They wanna
turn your
shock
hair
you.
white. Yeah. Jim, my goodness.
It was shocking to me. Like, I think in my early 20s, I was like, oh my God, you can't say that. And then I started saying it, and I was like, this actually is an amazing word. The way to say it,
It's funny.
everything about
Let's
it.
ponder this for a minute.
Yeah.
Now, wouldn't you think, now I'm very dumb, but at the same time, I'd like to say
I don't think you are.
you were, the word cunt, it's intense, right?
Yeah.
Now, if someone would call you a cunt in a CVS
Yeah.
for taking up the line.
Yeah, if you're being a cunt. You should be called a
This
cunt.
is a family neighborhood.
Sorry. Oh, I just saw the baby carriage.
I just like overreacting to like stuff that's very passive to me, and seeing people who don't know me that well but know what I do go, wait a minute, you can't be one or the other. I tell people I don't even curse in front of my mother. Like it's pretty clean off the stage for me. I like a tidy mind, tidy things. I like that. I like everything has to be labeled and nailed to something in my head.
I strive for that, but I grew up in the Bronx, and it's just, you know, there's just so many people there that speak in that either Italian or like that Puerto Rican kind of like, yo, what the fuck, bro? This fucking shit, bro.
Hey,
And
look at Dice. He's a Jew from Brooklyn
Yeah.
who's mistaken constantly for being Italian. He's like,
Yeah.
no, this is how Brooklyn is.
Yeah. It kind of doesn't matter what your ethnicity is. If you grew up in New York City, you're Italian.
First of all, and it's like England too, you have to.
Yeah.
Or your life is going to be fucking a nightmare. As
Yeah.
a kid, and you
Yeah.
don't want to, you better pick up a couple local swear words,
Yeah.
or you're screwed.
Dead ass. That's one of them.
Dead ass, you know, vape it up, Billy.
Yeah.
All the hip ones, you know.
Yeah. Vape it up. I don't know if that's it.
No,
Maybe it is now.
How are you pulling this off? Because I've seen you make about 6 appearances here over the last year and a half.
Yeah.
Has it been more or less?
I've been around.
Yeah.
You know, like I told you before when we met, slow to start. Again, I kind of wanted to feel like a person for a little while.
Yeah.
Before
You
I
checked
really
out
jumped
for,
in.
did you do the 2-year period like everyone else did?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But it was actually a good choice for me personally.
Anybody who was smart was doing that. I took so much stock in myself and what I was planning. I go, look, you got 20 solid years. If you can keep your body upright
Yeah.
and moving,
Yeah.
you got a good what do you want to do for 20 years?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be in LA fighting homeless people in front of the Comedy Store? Or do you want to have a life of like quality and pursue it from a better place than anywhere? Which you realize, look, New York will always be New York. It's, like I said, the world-class university, but Austin has become summer camp.
Yeah. Austin, you can feel that there's something here.
I'm in summer camp.
Yeah. It really does feel that way. I mean, there's literally people in canoes over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
The whites are very active here. Everybody's 25, white, and full of hope.
yeah. I guess this is kind of your experience and my experience are similar, where you're living in a place maybe that's whiter than what you grew up in.
Yeah.
It's weird, right?
It's totally weird. And no, it's the worst part is the food. Me and Jared were like,
Yeah.
where are we going to find Jamaican patties
Mediterranean.
in Austin? There is a place not far we found, but it's like, am I taking an hour or a 20-minute Uber ride to get curried goat?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm like, there's fucking a steak place right near there,
Yeah.
but I'll eventually make it. Yeah, we miss some of the food, but there is a lot of, look, the food truck is a dominant force in here as far as like diversity in food. You can find a very cross section of it, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's nice to sit down in the restaurant with the folks who are actually cooking it
Yeah.
in the back.
Instead of outside with the fan that they blow water into so that it blows out droplets on you, like that's supposed to be the same thing. What
And
the
he's
hell is
farted
that?
in there 5 times making your sandwich.
Yeah.
And the butter takes butter absorbs smells, right?
Yeah, it
So
does.
now he's rubbing fart butter on your fucking hero sub.
Fart butter sounds like somebody's kink.
Fart butter. I'm gonna get that .com.
Oh, you do that too?
No, but my friends do. I'll say fucked up things, and then they're like, "I'm buying it."
Buy a domain.
I've got I got a domain. I'm launching for a very terrible picture that I carry around in my pocket. That I show a lot of the newer comics. It's a friend. My friend's got his asshole spread. Oh, look at that! He's eating a bird. Look at the size of that one. It looks like it's crouching. But that's the baby, I think, that we saw over there anyway. Yeah, ADD, folks.
ADD is so bad. It's
It is quite beautiful here, though.
well, I like it. ADHD makes it easier for you to have fun conversations because you'll go anywhere. Somebody brings up, like you're talking about spreading ass cheeks, and I'm like, yeah, let's go there. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I'm pretty, I think that's why a lot of people tend to confide in me, because I'm not, it's an improv game, more or less. I'm like, what's the thing, and what's the improv rule?
Yes, and?
Yes, and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a yes, and guy. I'm like, where is this going?
Yeah. And me too.
I like to hear somebody talk themselves into a hole,
Yeah.
and then look at them and go, that was terrible. I've berated friends for consuming me and starting off with a good story and then not having the skill set to actually give me a fucking ta-da.
Oh yeah.
Or it's not even that, it's not bad enough to laugh. It's just,
You gotta berate them.
you gotta hurt their feelings.
Yeah. Hurt
Did-
feelings.
How long did it take before you had your first like cry in stand-up comedy?
First cry.
Yeah.
Ooh, like
Like you
horrible
go,
experience.
I'm gonna start doing open mics, and now I'm having to deal. These are people I'm gonna have to deal with for at least a few years. And look at the obstacles in front of me. These guys are fucking losers.
Oh, probably right when the pandemic hit. That's when
Okay.
I started to feel that way. I started to feel like, oh, where is this going?
But New York kind of pushed and had rooftop shows against the law. Probably some
Yeah.
warehouse stuff, right? Underground.
Yeah, I did a couple,
Yeah.
and initially, and then I just realized that I don't know, it's better to just learn how to bake a cherry pie or something, do something like that. Read a book.
Get crafty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started picking up. I ordered a bunch of shit off of Amazon, glued it together, drew some diagrams for some projects I want to do on that's kind of outside of stand-up, and
Yeah.
I created a series of like miscellaneous folders that will be activated accordingly on a timeline. But
This is such an adult man thing to do. It's like, let's build shelves.
I'm all shelves.
Yeah.
Like I'm all shelves and spots. Like
Yeah.
I think I find some sort of place in the universe when I know where everything is.
Yeah.
And none of it means anything. Like I really just need a passport and a pair of pants.
Yeah, but it's good to have something. I like routine. I don't need to necessarily know where everything is, but I need
I like
to know
routine,
what I'm
too.
doing next. And
Yeah.
Next and next and next.
I start to execute a routine by just getting up in the morning and at a 6 a.m.
Yeah.
time,
Yeah, look at
I
the mirror.
find I'm scratching my head. Oh, it's lunch now. I've been active for 6 hours.
Yeah.
I better eat something. I'm starting to spin.
Yeah.
And then I'll go smoke 6 joints. This
That's
poor girl's breaking up with her boyfriend.
probably TikToking. Shit, fall in the fucking lake.
Yeah, how is the internet been for you? Are you enjoying it? Because now people are, over COVID, clearly you've noticed the attention that's been put on podcasters and
Yes.
comedians and their politics and all this weird segregation.
Yeah.
There's rivalries and dramas and very public arguments.
It's sad.
It's wild.
I think it's sad because segregating people off like that, I mean, there's so much that both sides can contribute to each other's creative process that you're just completely missing out on. Like we're basically in a Dark Crystal scenario, the crystal's split, and
Yeah.
we need a Gelfling to come save us. And
I know. I think
put the
people
shard back.
put Joe as they've kind of expect him to be that guy.
He's not.
to put
He's
it
good,
together. No, I know he's not.
He's a good dude, but
He gets enough blame.
yeah, he's kind of a lightning rod for that. But what
It's
are you gonna do?
fine. Yeah, it's fine. You
Yeah.
know comics and comedy.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be fine. There's no fucking, it's
Yeah.
not that bad. And you're going to be laughed at as time moves on.
Yeah.
You're going to probably touch on some very relevant things that won't be
One way or
exercised.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's fortunately, there's comedians have no other alliances other than themselves and each other.
Ultimately, yeah.
Yeah, it's what I guess the utopia of it is. But there's some backstabbers and rats and gossipers and
Well, because the stakes are, I don't know, I think the...
big stakes now. People are getting big checks.
Yeah, some people not. You know, it's what I don't like is this, right? There's like this industry pipeline, and like
Yeah.
that leans more towards like you're going to be doing a certain kind of clean material, and then also like sometimes flat out propaganda, right? And that's like that's
They
where you
groom
get
you
your
for
paycheck
that.
from.
Yeah.
And so they're gatekeeping that whole process, and they have their own thing going on. And then it's them versus everybody who likes freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? That's kind
Most
of the real.
definitely. It is very
corporate
Game
versus-
of Thrones. And the
yeah.
houses have their politics and their banners.
Yeah.
And they're not shy about it. Before this was kind of like a, listen, don't make fun of gay people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because our CEO is gay, but he's not out. But he's going to, if we're going to vote, we're voting with him.
Yeah.
And if you want to keep your job, don't even joke.
But it's even more than that now. It's like not only is it like what you say, but who you even talk to. You choosing
Just
to
from a
be
Facebook.
on a podcast,
Yeah.
a certain podcast here and there, right?
Thanks for having the confidence to come here to do this.
You're great. I go
I'll be
with
fine.
whoever I vibe with.
Sure.
I'm sticking with that. You
Yeah.
know, fuck it. Because it's like, I don't know, honesty is key.
It can be, and a lot of people are trying to trip you up to say things that are going to kind of create. There's no money on the table. Why would you sabotage somebody who has 4 roommates?
Because it's the scumbag thing, you know?
There's a lot of scumbags. This is where, listen, I don't know what kind of high school life, but you did say you grew up in New York, so this
Yeah.
was probably a prominent thing. Like, I used to get punched in the mouth.
I never had to experience
I got punched in the mouth by a girl I had a crush on in older grade.
Was it like a lot of fights and stuff?
It was very physical
Yeah,
for
me too.
both male and female students.
Yep.
It was not uncommon to see 2 girls fight like men because their home lives were their
Yeah.
parents were savages.
Yeah, girls walking around just like the guys, just angry, you know? And like looking to hurt somebody because
Yeah.
they're fucked up.
Clenched.
And duke it out with somebody. One of my friends got hospitalized from one of those fights.
A
And
young lady or
Yeah.
a gentleman? A young lady.
Young
She
lady.
hit her head on the ground.
No, she hit her head against this girl's fist a bunch of times.
She got caught in a way that she had some trauma to her head.
I think they twisted her ankle. It was just messed up. It was like court proceedings from that. That's how crazy it got. And
Yeah, well, now these persons, in some cases, can't operate a motor vehicle.
yeah.
Because you've got a concussion that's so bad that your motor skills are not going to pass the test.
Yeah, lasting effects. But she
I
had a
was an
nice
Uber
thing.
driver. How could you do this to me?
Yeah. Well, you know, nobody in those high schools has a future. That's just assumed that you're gonna have one, so it's okay, I guess. Statistically, if you don't make anything of yourself, you're like, hey, I went to PS46. Yeah.
What's a PS46?
Public school.
Oh,
So, yeah.
I'm one of the people that you're talking about with the problem. I had, what was it? You sound like you spent about maybe a year and a half in a higher learning institution.
I got a bachelor's.
What is that?
Columbia.
Now, I've left my academic career consisted of a grade 6 education.
I don't know. I think past high school, you don't need it. You don't need anything.
No, I picked up enough things, and fortunately, you know, there's people in business specifically to do things like accounting
Yeah.
and this and travels and there's especially now everyone's got an app that you can find someone to walk your fucking dog, and you can videotape it while they do it. You know.
Yeah. Here we go.
We're gonna go up, and we're gonna turn around right here. Actually,
Oh, okay.
let's say the Starbucks.
Hit a Starbucks?
There's
Let's
a
do it.
Starbucks right here.
Let's go.
That's what I'm thinking. I think in mocha frappuccino. I think.
Oh, those are good.
How do you feel about sweet, chocolatey coffee ice drinks?
No, I like coffee black, no sugar.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
respect that.
Always been like that.
I was only bringing up the frappuccino because it's my coffee consists of as black as possible, with a couple splashes of that delicious oat milk that I love.
Oat milk's good, and I like mocha in coffee also. Those are all. So you like?
I
your,
like
your
matcha.
palate is like dark, muddy, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's me.
I eat sand and stuff off
Yeah,
the ground.
I'll do it. You got pica? Yeah.
How do you feel about the taste of kratom?
Of what?
Kratom?
Kratom? What's that?
Oh, I have some at the house. It's like rat poison. No.
Let's do it.
Well, let's take a break and we'll come back. We were talking about fentanyl and the glampers.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
You guys got a little, glamorous camping. That's a thing here in Texas.
Now, isn't that what we call people that go to Coachella?
Yes, that's basically it.
Yeah?
Yeah. But it's they have cabins sometimes. A lot of Instagram influencer.
Coachella, from what I can see. Now,
Yeah.
have you been to this? You look like a lady who would appreciate something in the woods.
I do, but I don't like
Pretty
it.
open-ended.
Yeah, I guess that could mean anything, right?
Stand around
Tied
looking
to
at
a tree.
owls.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a camping party.
I don't like people that much, though. I don't like. It's not that I don't like
So
people.
it's just the rural or the nature aspect of it.
Yeah. Well, I don't like a lot of people. I could do pretty well with like 3 people below, but once it gets to more and more people, I start kind of shutting down.
This is why I do this.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trying to learn how to overextend myself in the conversation, and in a way that I actually have a one-on-one, but I'm actually moving.
Yeah.
So there's a rhythm to it at the same time.
Stimulates your
People get
brain.
to see all these beautiful things we got here. And that is a very interesting pile of garbage.
Oh my god.
Like,
Yeah,
is that
that's
that's
story.
some house coats, some beds.
I don't even think this is garbage. I think this is someone's living room.
It actually looks like the first house I lived in when I was a comic.
It looks like that Puerto Rican lady's room.
My basement apartment at the corner of Ottawa and Main Street in Hamilton.
This is reminiscent of that.
Yeah, I lived in a basement apartment, and I remember the sewer backed up in it one time. Yeah, as a New Yorker, you know how Mother Nature can really fuck up your living arrangement. How many the pipe actually blew out in the wall.
Yeah.
And 6 floors down is 4 feet of water. Like,
Yeah, everyone's
total catastrophe.
Yeah. The interesting thing about New York is that the further south you get, the more it's about flooding. The further north you get, the more it's about fire.
Oh, okay.
It's like straight up, like in the Bronx, straight up
It's
fires.
like Tornado Alley.
Yeah.
In these trailer parks, but yet people still move there.
Yeah.
And it's annual.
Yeah.
You can count on it.
Yeah. Yeah. People just kind of, I don't know, congregate around wherever there's
Rats and rodents.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one thing that made me glad to leave New York City, because the rat problem is getting crazy.
Oh, I
There
think.
were articles about Chipotle workers basically like
Fighting
boxing rats to
Yeah.
get them away from the avocados, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And they're giant. So,
Oh, they're very giant. And we're not talking big cat, we're talking small dog.
yeah, they're like little Chihuahua-sized rats.
I had made my first trip to New York in, I think, early 2001. And Giannis Pappas and I became pals. He was in a program in New York that
He's cool.
I was in the Toronto program, and we'd met in New York as part of I gotta find a better thesaurus. As both schools were coming together from New York and Canada to perform a sketch stand-up show at Caroline's for an industry showcase.
Okay.
And
Hey, do you guys need some weed?
no, we're good, but thank you. That was very nice.
Yeah.
No, mostly it's like crack
Oh, really?
for me. Do you want crack?
Maybe because I'm here.
Yeah, you're a total
I've always been
weed
offered
lady.
Yeah, I do look like it.
You look like a lady. Do you smoke the pot? I don't know. Maybe you don't.
I used to a lot, and now I don't. My mom has always been into pot. It calms her down.
Do you mind if I handle this for a
Not at
second while I change up? I got the wrists of a ballet dancer.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Very delicate.
It's delicate. My friends that are guitar players and piano players, they look at my hands and they're like, "You're wasting your talents."
Really?
I got fingers.
Let me see.
I got fingers. Now they.
I got long fingers.
It's
Oh yeah, I can totally see it.
There's no. These are show business hands now.
Yeah.
I have family that actually have real jobs and work with real things.
Yeah.
And their hands are very sausage-like.
Yeah, they get kind of
muscular.
square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They become
Little biceps right here. They just like flexing.
calloused. I do get calluses, but it's just from a bar beating my neighbor.
That's great. It's good to be neighborly.
That's another thing I didn't like about New York, is that I don't mind neighbors, but when you can hear them through the walls, it's not good.
Yeah.
The buildings are just easily flammable.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's active and out.
Yeah.
La, la, la.
Yeah, that fa la la vibe. That's a thing that I have grown to appreciate about this place.
Yeah, because you know that if you don't embrace this kind of fair weatherness that Austin has, that you are just an asshole from
You're
out
just
of
a
town.
bitter person.
There's no reason.
Yeah.
Just relax.
Yeah.
Try a paddleboard. Want
Yeah.
a fresh pressed juice?
Yeah.
Barbecue.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you tried the comedy?
Yeah. It could drive you crazy, but then you're the asshole if you're reacting that way too much. But I don't know. I can't help it. Also, I go to this cafe in Austin. And I go literally because the reviews said that the staff was unfriendly.
Ha!
I go there for that.
Well, you go and sit in the corner and watch people get treated like shit because you're sick.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like being treated like shit. I sit in my corner. I go, thank you very much. Have a good morning. And they give me a cold glare. And I'm like, thank you. And then they do it to everybody else. It's pretty great.
I can tell you two places. I don't want to say them on camera.
Yeah.
But I know, and they're both women.
Really?
In the service industry that have very niche jobs in the city, and these two broads are absolute cunts. It is excellent. My friends come back from the bar and they're like, that fucking lady yelled at me because I asked for a Coke. And I'm going, probably because you're in a fucking rock club.
Yeah.
And
don't be an asshole.
Yet the thing was, it was for me. I don't drink. He was angry when I brought it back. The lady tore a strip off of him. Jared got yelled at by her.
Really?
Like it's all-inclusive hate. That's what I love about it.
Damn.
Yeah, it was
You
brutal.
gotta have some willpower to yell at a guy with a stutter.
No, my friend went out to have a cigarette. She poured all his fucking drinks. He had 2 sips out of them. He bought a round for him and his friends. She got her arm and cleared them right off the bar into the sink when he went out for a cigarette.
God damn.
And then they come to me like I'm supposed to, oh, you're a scumbag. Why don't you say something? I go, this is what happens. Scumbags don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
We're out busy.
You don't defend everybody.
Scumming it up.
Yeah, you have to be true to who you are.
Yeah, but you can find that almost anywhere in New York. I've never been yelled at a deli before because I took a breath to change the cheese that I wanted on my sandwich.
I got yelled at from an ice cream truck one time down in the financial district in New York.
I got yelled at an ice cream truck for showing my balls.
I wish I had balls to show that guy, actually. That would be great.
You could go down to the local butcher shop and get some, what do they call them, sweetbreads? Yeah, I think they sell them. That's a thing.
Really?
Yeah, I can't do it. I do enjoy experimenting with different types of food and traveling and stuff, but organy stuff, like menudo.
Yeah.
I drink the broth. It's got like stomach and guts, and it's a soupy thing.
It's in the Dominican Spanish, it's called mondongo.
Oh,
but I know what you're talking about.
It depends on what kind of restaurant you're at.
Yeah. Cow tripe soup.
Yeah, I saw a. I should probably turn on the camera now, right?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I love doing that near the end of the episode, and my friends are being cordial, and it's like, motherfucker, it's hot. No one likes this, by the way. When you showed up with a jacket, I was like,
yeah.
I might get pushed into the river here, but no one likes it. I get yelled at by the end. But you've been a trooper. I don't think you complain as much as... I think you push it all down and then systematically Johnny Appleseed it around society.
Yeah.
People are just standing and bullshit, and you're...
Yeah. Yep.
Revenge. I think we first started to talk about was revenge.
Yes. Were we?
Is that a Latino thing? Because I had Jason Rodriguez on, and we were talking about revenge, and he made the same face. He was like, yes. Is that a cultural?
Yeah, maybe. Probably just from watching.
It's very romantic. Yeah, right?
Yeah. It's just, I think it comes from the Spaniards, for sure, right?
They hold grudges.
Yeah, where you're just like, did you just dishonor this right here, motherfucker? I will get you. And then you just kind of plot. And it's just fun to do that.
Why is it? But it's always like peril where the guy has to kill his daughter because she's married so-and-so. You know, it's very like, why can't you guys just move?
Yeah,
you don't have to be subjected to, but that's where, when you spend all that time with your family and your other family's family, it's very communal. You get into a cult mentality. You start caring what your other family members think about what you're doing.
Yeah. Also, being around family, too much of it can make you homicidal anyway.
Yeah.
I think just naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
they know you inside and out. There's no normal conversation with somebody who changed your diapers.
Yeah, you're in an asylum, and the patients know you more than you know yourself. That's the one thing that psychiatrists have an advantage over the crazy people, is that, you know, they're enigmatic. They're a mystery. You don't know anything about me. I work here. But with your family, they know you. You're screwed. They know all your buttons.
Yeah, and some of them use it to prolong their practice with you, and it becomes another sort of bloodletting on yourself. It's not always going well.
I'm assuming you don't have any family here.
I have zero family in the
That's
U.S.
why you're so happy.
Yeah, none of my family's in the American. I'm a Canadian refugee.
None of my family's here. They're mostly Dominican, or they live in other states, and they're Puerto Rican. So it's pretty good. Everybody's scattered.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When you're on the road, you actually can go see them once a year.
Yeah.
You know, on a tour, which is great when you're in a town, or I had some family in Manchester, and it was great. I'd be in this city and get to see some people I normally would have to take a huge flight, and it's a big ordeal, travel and the money of it, to go over and have a family dinner.
Yeah, but knowing you're going, you're gonna have your needs paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All good. Where can people find you? I guess on this walkway. We're at Lady Bird Lake. How nice is this, by the way?
Yeah, I like this walk is really good too. It's like trail. But you can find me on, I guess, Instagram. Melissa Diaz, #4, letter U. Melissa Diaz for you.
And you also have a podcast.
Yeah, I got a Melissa Time. It's on iTunes.
Melissa Time. I was trying to decipher your logo.
Yeah, I know. It's a little insane.
But it seems to be, there is clock arms, right?
Yeah, it's clock arms. And one of the long arms is my name. Yeah, the name of the podcast.
But it has a very stained glass type of thing. Is there?
Yeah.
Is this just, okay, I'm reading into this too much.
No, you can. I designed it myself, actually. So
okay, that's what I thought.
Psychological thing is in there, you're probably right.
There's some sort of, it looks cryptic in a form. I love hidden messages and drawing lines to things that have no relevance on what's really being conveyed, other than my own crazy, manic.
Well, I don't know how, if you could read into this however you want, because I haven't been able to decipher it about myself, but I've always liked drawing. I draw pretty good, pretty well. But for some reason, ever since I was a kid, everything I would draw would always look kind of cryptic, gothic, or dark, no matter what I did, Yeah. And I tried drawing cartoons, so I draw cartoony things now, but even then they look kind of...
It's a way to express yourself with your feelings, exercising them without being subjected to any confrontation over them.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You just described my whole personality.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna go jump in
that's
the lake now.
helpful. You can put it. It's in plain sight, but nobody knows how relevant it is to how you feel.
Yeah, that's a lot of me.
Uh huh.
Wow, you really wrapped me up like read me like a book right now.
I didn't
Pretty
mean
good.
to.
No, I
didn't
like
mean
it.
to.
Wow.
I'm partly responsible. I do similar things in the sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but most of it is juvenile stuff. But there's clearly little keys, little messages of things that I'm trying to publicly figure out myself.
But you're more confrontational. You're more comfortable with that. I'm trying to get more comfortable with that.
I went around the band. I was so shy and all that crap. But alcohol was the was one of the things that eventually. I thought they actually had a live peacock in the back seat.
That was a little weird.
And the ADD again. I'm gonna come around here with my wrist is sore.
Do you want me to hold the camera for a little while? Although I have thin wrists also. Shut it off with
Don't you touch my camera! You don't think I'm strong
You
enough?
need a little bit of help there?
Get off of me!
It's okay, buddy.
Don't
It's
you
okay,
make
you
me
need
hit you
somebody
in front of my friends.
It's alright. Might be awesome. Might be content.
He has the cameras. We don't like the cameras.
Yeah, let's make this into the Blair Witch Project. Let's fucking do it.
Great movie, by the way.
Yeah. It's one of those movies that it's starting to lose its edge a little, but then when it came out, it was just perfect time and place. Good mood.
Yeah,
It
it
was
made
great.
everybody that had a camcorder thought they could make $1 million with their idea that
I
year.
remember that, yeah.
They didn't know how that script was completely tailored to their production.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
He's just a roustabout.